everyone, Miguel Hito of your Cranial Emission Show here. Getting dialed into the show on the interweb and social media, it's a piece of cake. Here's a few ways you can do it. First and foremost, our home base is Spreaker.com. Search the Cranial Emission Show. And on iPhone and Android markets, download the Spreaker app and listen to live or to archive shows right on your phone or tablet. Next, visit our Facebook page under the Cranial Emissions Network, and Twitter @CranialE, YouTube, the Cranial Emissions Show _official. And you can even email us with your questions and comments at thecranialemissionshow@gmail.com. If you want to be part of the show, you can call in on Friday nights between 7 and 9 Eastern Standard Time at 813-438-6068. Thanks for listening and being part of the growing revolution that is the Cranial Emission Show.
Hello, this is Sancho from the Cranial Emission Show. Our celebrity voices are impersonated by Bang, Caleb, Joe, Jesus, or Miggy. Yes, we keep adding people every time.
Broadcasting from within the Ybor Muda Triangle, live from the Lion's Den at 1704 and a half, yes, a half, East 7th Avenue, Ybor City, Florida. It's the Cranial Emission Show. Welcome your hosts, Ben Charles, Caleb Crispy, and Miguel Hito.
Welcome to the Cranial Mission Show, folks. Actually coming to you live from Goalie Studios for once. Haven't done a show in Goalie Studios in quite a while. Been on the road for well over a year, so it's nice. It's nice just to kind of chill out and have a little more relaxed show. We're a couple hosts light tonight. It's just myself, Ben Charles, and the great C-Squared, Caleb Crispy, hanging out here. So we are in the Ybor Muda Triangle, but just not the Lion's Den. We're at Goalie Studios.
Yeah. It's nice. It's relaxing.
Yeah. It's
kind of laid back, relaxed. Got the feet kicked out a little bit.
Little ESPN hanging on in the background. We can get our little sports updates
here
while
there,
we're broadcasting.
Absolutely.
You want to be a part of the show, you can do so by dialing in. You can call us here at 813-438-6068. Go to craniomissions.com. Go check out the website there. You can listen to our feeds that way. You can listen archive or live through craniomissions.com. And the interactive map is cool. I say this every week, but it's cool because it tells us where around the world you are listening from. A lot to get into this week. But before we do, we're going to start out the show the way we do every single week, and that is with the beer call.
I want you to get me fresh beer.
You serious?
Now!
Hey, sir, you son of a bitch!
It's magical.
It's laughing at me.
I wish I could brush my teeth with it.
I want to put my dick in it.
I wanted to put its dick in me.
I wish it were winter. We could make it into ice blocks and skate on it. And then melt it in the springtime and drink it.
And, it's kind of a flat beer call for us. Because we're both drinking Bud Light tonight.
Well,
nothing exotic at all.
Nothing exotic, nothing fun. If I would have known we were going to do it here, I would have brought something from home earlier, but I haven't made it home yet from work. So, just picked up something easy. Easy peasy cheesy. Let's do it.
Easy chill out night here for the Cranial Mission Show. So, that's it. I mean, that's a pretty short beer call. Nothing to get into. Nothing. No ABV to delight you with or any kind of medley of flavors other than just water and what passes for beer. But it's cheap.
It's cheap. Well, I don't know. This was actually $13 for a 12-pack. I've never paid more than $1 for a Bud Light, but
yeah, but when you're going to Ybor convenience stores, there's definitely a markup.
Yeah. Well, I was telling you earlier, I felt like such an asshole today. So I went to the convenience store, and there's always guys that either homeless or look like they're homeless hanging out front. And I always, try to avoid them and try to not have that awkward conversation with them. And I was just thinking, oh man, this guy's gonna say something to me. I parked up in front of him, and I don't have any cash on me, and I don't
try not to make eye contact.
Yeah. So I saw the guy sitting out there, and I said, and I'm not even gonna go to the Hulk music for that one, but I was just thinking to myself, I hope he doesn't say anything to me and ask me for money or something. And I go to get in my truck, and guy looks at me and he says, "Hey, it's a pretty sharp truck you got there." And I turn around and I was like, "Oh, thanks, man." I got in the car and just put my head down and felt like such an asshole for, thinking this guy was going to ask me for something. And here, all he did was compliment me on my truck. And, man, talk about just feeling like shit.
Yeah, but unless he's Professor X from the X-Men, he doesn't know what you're thinking. So so it's your own guilt. I mean,
yeah. It absolutely is
At
my
least
own.
you weren't overt about it. You
Yeah.
know? You were. I mean, I'm assuming you weren't giving him some kind of like snotty look or anything.
No,
right?
not at all.
So you're fine. I mean, what I can't stand is when you're sitting at the traffic lights and you got the bum standing there, just staring at you. He's like practically looking through you.
Yeah, especially if you're the only car.
Right, and you got that like sad puppy dog eyes going. And my defense every time is go to the phone. Go to the smartphone, act like you're occupied, and don't make eye contact.
Yep, absolutely.
But it drives you nuts. Some of them are pretty aggro.
Yeah.
They'll just stare right at you, and you're like,
yeah.
Dude. And Ebor's got a lot of it to begin with. The thing is, you get real anesthetized. You get cynicized to it because down here it seems like every 10 feet you walk in Ebor, you're going to have people asking you for money.
Oh, yeah.
But it's a bad time in America to be a bum because nobody has cash.
Oh, yeah.
How often do you use cash?
Rarely ever. I debit card, credit cards, I rarely ever have cash on me. Which is weird. I actually like having cash on me. I like paying for cash. It's so much more convenient. It used to be it was inconvenient to carry cash. Now when you go somewhere, like go out to eat, and
it's quicker.
It's a lot quicker. If you don't need change, you can just count it out and see you later. Now you got to wait, and if you're at a bar and it's busy,
it's a pain in the ass.
You got to wait 5 minutes to get your receipt, and then you got to pay, and then you got to wait 5 more minutes for them to come get your card and come run it and bring it all back to you. Yeah.
Plus, you seem to be more mindful of what you're spending.
Oh yeah.
When you have an approximation of money to spend.
Oh yeah. When it's well, actually, the Dave Ramsey, the financial advisor, talks about that and how credit card companies make so much money betting on the fact that you don't think about it. Hey, we got John Wilson on the call here. Let's see what see what John's up to.
Oh, cool.
Hey, John.
How you doing?
Doing good. How are you doing tonight?
I'm very good. Is that Caleb?
It is.
You beautiful man.
That's what the Japanese say about him all the time, John.
Exactly. Well, no, you see, what I thought, first of all, I thought, well, Caleb just called himself an arsehole. And I thought, that's not right, is it? You know what I mean?
It's true at times.
and I was just talking about the old, I don't know, homeless people, tramps, whatever you want to call them. They're always coming up to me. I had a guy come up to me today and asked me for 4 pence.
For 4 pairs? Oh, 4 pence. Okay, I thought you said 4 pants.
It may as well ask me for like a dime or something, you know?
Yeah.
He asked me for 4 pence.
Did you give it to him?
No.
Who has 4 pence? Just say, oh yeah, here's 4.
Yeah, that is the question.
Follow me to the cash machine, and we'll get that 4 pence out for you straight away. 4 pence? Who asks for 4 pence?
You should have made him follow you to the cash machine and then to the restaurant and buy yourself some food and pay with the cash and get the change back and then give him the 4 pence.
Unbelievable! I couldn't believe it because obviously, they'll always stop. Like Ben said, you stop at the lights and they're staring at you, and then you're walking up the street and you can't get up the street without them saying, "Have you got any change, mate? Have you got any 4 pence?"
So do they call you refer to it as tramps? Is that kind of the vernacular for what we call a bum over there?
Yeah. I mean, you don't hear the saying that they're said that much these days. I suppose it's just homeless, isn't it?
Yeah. We bums is a lot easier around here.
That's it. It's a bit derogatory, isn't it? But
financially challenged. Is that nicer?
Yeah, well, I mean, I was speaking to a friend about this, and we were talking about them, and I mean, I have, don't get me wrong, I've given money. There was one guy I stopped and said, I've seen him all the time in Liverpool, and I stopped him and I said, "What's your story, mate? Tell me your story." He told me his story. I gave him £4. Said, "Yeah, mate." And then he was coming down the road. I was outside having a smoke. About an hour later, and he came up to me again. I said, "Don't you remember me?" It's obviously, he's going, "Oh yeah, I remember you." It's probably all the drugs. But I'm thinking, you don't want to give them money because they're going to buy drugs. You'd rather take them for a coffee or buy them a coffee or buy them a bit of food.
A lot of times, though, when you offer that, they reject it. They don't like that because that is, like you said, they want to use it for drugs. They want to use it for alcohol.
Yeah,
it's always the same. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I had one fella. I said, "I'll buy you a coffee. Do you want to buy a coffee?" And he sort of like reluctantly said yes.
Yeah.
So he followed me into, I think it was Burger King. I think he followed me into Burger King, and I bought him a coffee. He was well pissed off.
Hey, but you know what? You gave him the caffeine to get him through the day to keep borrowing more pence.
Well, this is it. But then a friend pointed out to me, she said, "If you lived on the street, you'd want drugs, wouldn't you?"
Yeah, that's a good point.
But here's the thing about it. I was thinking about this today because I did have that this morning. I had the guy just giving me the eye. I mean, the guy was practically boring a hole through my skull with his gaze as I was a single car at the light, like you were talking about earlier, Co. And I'm thinking to myself as I'm driving off, and I don't know, maybe this makes me douchey, but I'm thinking to myself, you know, in America, you can claim unemployment now for 2 frickin' years.
Yeah.
So that it comes out to like $1,200 something a month. Now I know that's not a lot of money, but you don't have to be homeless. So I mean, usually with these people, it is someone with addiction issues or some kind of mental mental trauma going on with them. But it's just it seems like there's just more and more of them now.
Oh well, yeah, yeah. Well, that's the funny thing about Key West. You know, Key West is known to have a lot of homeless people there, and the reason is they go there, they want to party, they want to be kind of in the drug scene and whatnot, and they get there, and it's not like when you get to Key West and you run out of money, you can go home. You know, it's a it's a 4-hour drive back to the mainland, and you know, it's hard to hitchhike 4 hours. And there's no buses that run back and forth that I know of. You got airplanes, but it's not an easy or cheap ordeal to get back off the island. So these people get there, run out of money, and they have no money or no way to get home.
Well, I tell you, it's easier to get there from Key West, to get to Miami from Key West, than it is to get to Miami from Cuba, buddy. So they can do it. They can figure it out if they, apply some work ethic. And that's the thing. What's crazy about some of these homeless people is the ingenuity that they utilize being homeless.
Yeah.
And you're looking at it and thinking, my God, this guy could, do a real job and be quite adept at it.
Yeah, the MacGyver everything.
Yeah. I mean, we had, as you know, I work in the commercial real estate business, and my dad and I were managing.
Oh, do you?
We were working this. We were working this industrial project. We were managing this property, this warehouse, and when they decided to do the Crosstown connector over there off State Road 60, they had to tear down a bunch of those woods. And when they did, they found this bum village where they had put together this entire intricate tarp system for a shelter. They had an entire clan of homeless people. They wired electricity, had a TV in there. These guys were poaching cable. I mean, and I'm looking at it thinking to myself, my God, all this effort you put into this.
Yeah, you could have had a job. Could have been an engineer.
I mean, how bad is it over there, John?
I suppose it's as bad as anywhere. You mean in the big cities, you know what I mean? There's a lot of people, they're homeless. But what makes me laugh is obviously, I don't want to get too stiff on this, but they're trying to ban them from sleeping rough. Do you know what I mean? In the cities, you see. So, I mean, where do they go? If they can't sleep in the cities, where you can arrest. Well, I mean, if it was me, I'd want to arrest me. I'll go to prison. We'll have a nice sleep.
Yeah.
Well, that's a phenomenon in and of itself, too. That actually does happen.
Oh, yeah.
And then, of course, you've got the con men and women, of course, who make a living out of begging on the streets. The ones, I think I've seen one woman, I don't know whether I don't know where it was, whether it was New York or whatever, and she used to drive into the city in a flash car, park around the corner, get out with all the gear on, looking like shit, and they're pushing the trolley up the road and into the main centre there and begging and getting, a fair few dollars and wandering back to her car.
Well, yeah.
So there's lots of those people going about as well, of course.
You sit at some traffic lights here, and I've kind of done rough math on it, and very few people are going to reach into the change jar. They're going to give $1 because you feel bad if you give less than $1. So if you think about it, those lights cycle every 30 seconds or so. So they're making $1 or $2 every minute. If you think about it like that, that's $60 an hour.
My favorite is when you see the dude standing out there. I like to survey the wardrobe when they're standing out there because it's very indicative of the whole con thing.
Yeah.
And there's been a number of times I've seen a vagrant standing outside begging, and they've got a brand new pair of sneakers.
Oh,
or
yeah.
They have
Yeah,
a
I've
brand
seen
new
that,
baseball cap on. You're looking at it and going, did somebody give you a brand new cap? Or
Did you steal it?